Hello everyone, welcome back to my AI learning journey. I hope you're all doing great. Today topic is how to master the art of negotiation in daily life. Negotiation is a skill we use every day whether we are discussing prices, solving disagreements, making family decisions, working with colleagues or communicating with clients. Good negotiations is not about winning an argument. It is about understanding different perspectives, finding common ground, and creating solutions that benefit everyone. Today, we will explore the art of negotiations and learn practical techniques to become more confident and effective negotiators. To help us understand this topic better, I have invited my AI. She will explain the principles of successful negotiations and share useful strategies that we can apply in everyday life. So let us begin our conversation. Hello Maya, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Just feeling really energized. How about you? What's been happening in your world?
Thank you for joining me. I'm really excited to discuss today's topic with you.
Same here. I love the energy.
Okay.
What do you have on your mind?
Today's
I'm
topic
all
is
ears.
how to master the art of negotiation in daily life. Many people think negotiation is only for businessmen, but in reality, we negotiate every day at home, at work, at school, and in our relationships. I hope you will help us understand how to negotiate with confidence while building trust and maintaining positive relationships.
I love that. It's such a huge
So
misconception
let
that
us begin with my
negotiation.
first question. What is
Go for it.
negotiation?
Hmm. It's basically just the process of figuring things out when two people want different things. I think we tend to make it sound way more formal than it actually is. Like if you're deciding with a partner who's doing the dishes tonight or trying to get a toddler to eat one piece of broccoli, that's negotiation. At its core, it's just a conversation to reach an agreement that everyone can actually live with.
Why it is an important life skill?
Because life is basically just one long series of compromises. If you aren't negotiating, you're usually just accepting whatever someone else decided for you. When you get good at it, it stops feeling like a confrontation and starts feeling like a collaboration. It's the difference between feeling resentful about a decision and actually feeling like you were heard. Plus,
What
it's
are
the
the key
fastest way to
principles of
find out what
successful negotiation?
the biggest one is separating the person from the problem. You want to be tough on the issue, but soft on the person. It's all about focusing on interests instead of positions. Like instead of arguing over who gets the last slice of cake, you figure out why someone wants it. Maybe one person is actually hungry and the other just
How
wants a
can we
taste.
prepare before entering a negotiation?
Once you know exactly what you want, you need to figure out what you're willing to give up to get it. It's basically just mapping out your boundaries before the heat of the moment hits. I like to start by asking what's the absolute minimum I can walk away with and still feel okay, and what would a total win look like? Doing that homework keeps you from making a split-second decision you'll regret later. Does that make sense, or do you want a specific example?
Why is active listening important during negotiation?
Because it's the only way to figure out what the other person actually cares about. Most people enter a negotiation thinking it's a battle of wills, but it's actually a search for information. When you really listen, you will often find out that the other person's demand is just a placeholder for a deeper need. If you can uncover that, you've basically found the key to the lock, and the whole conversation shifts from me versus you to us versus the problem.
Why
Plus,
is
it's
staying calm
just a
important
nice.
during difficult conversation?
I'm guessing you mean why strain or tension happens in those moments. It usually boils down to people feeling unheard or threatened. When the emotional temperature spikes, we stop problem solving and start defending.
How can
That
emotional
tension is
intelligence improve negotiation skills?
it's the secret weapon because it lets you read the room. When you can tell someone is getting defensive or hesitant, you can pivot before the whole thing crashes and burns. Actually, look, we're about to hit our time limit, so I want to give you a heads up in Wait, don't leave me hanging. You can't just
What
drop a
role does
tease like,
confidence play in successful negotiation?
ooh, you're jumping straight into the deep end with that one. What exactly do you mean by remote creation in this case?
What role does confidence play in successful negotiation?
We're back to the negotiation thing. Confidence is basically the engine that keeps you moving forward. But here's the thing. If you have too much of it without the actual skills, you just come off as arrogant or pushy. The real magic happens when your confidence is rooted in your preparation. Like when you know your boundaries and your interests, you're not just guessing, you're negotiating from a place of strength. You don't have to be the loudest person in the room to be the most confident one. The most successful negotiators I've heard of are actually the ones who are calm and grounded because they've already done the homework.
How
You want to
can
pick
we
up where we left
negotiate
off with?
respectfully without creating conflict?
Mm-hmm. It's all about shifting the whole dynamic from me versus you to us versus the problem. When you frame it as a shared puzzle to solve, the conflict usually just melts away. Instead of pushing your own agenda, try using curiosity as your primary tool. Ask things like, help me understand why this part is important to you, or what does a win look like for you here? It's wild how
How
much
can
tension
students use
drops.
negotiation skills in school and university?
Oh, there are so many ways to use this. One of the biggest ones is negotiating deadlines or grade appeals, but it's really about those smaller daily wins, like convincing a group project partner to tackle the hardest part first or chatting with a professor about a specific extension. It's less about winning and more about figuring out how to get what you need while keeping the relationship intact.
Okay, how can professionals negotiate salaries, projects, or promotion effectively?
It's a different game when you're asking for a title change or a raise. The key is to stop talking about what you want and start talking about the value you've already created. You have to make it easy for your boss to say yes by bringing the receipts. Instead of saying, I've been here for a year, you say, I led X project,
How can
which saved the...
freelancers negotiate with clients professionally?
Freelancing is basically just negotiation wrapped in a brand. The first big thing is to anchor the conversation around the outcome, not the hours. When you sell your time, you're fighting a race to the bottom. When you sell the specific result, you're an expert they can't afford to lose. You have to be the one to set the frame by bringing a few different pricing tiers to the table. It gives the client a sense of control because they're choosing the best option for them rather than just
What
deciding
is
if
the
you're one
importance
price
of
tag.
finding a win-win solution?
Wait, Wind Fusion? Where did that come from? I'm curious if that's a specific term you've come across or something you're dreaming up.
How can we handle disagreements during a negotiation?
The secret is to keep it flexible. Once you hit that point where everyone is actually on board, you want to nail down the details immediately. Get it in writing or send a quick summary email so there's no, wait, I thought we meant X 3 days later. But the real art is leaving a tiny bit of breathing room. Actually, wait, we're actually hitting our time limit.
How can AI tools help us prepare for negotiations?
I'm thinking you mean negotiation again, right? If so, AI is actually a great sparring partner. You can feed it a scenario and have it play the role of a tough boss or a hesitant client to test your boundaries before you're actually in the room. Want to try a quick role play to see how it works?
Okay, what role does body language play in negotiations?
Body damage. I'm guessing you mean body language? I mean, unless we're negotiating the insurance claim for a totaled car, in which case that's a very different conversation.
How can we improve our negotiation skills through practice?
Slightly stuck on slow practice there. Do you mean how to actually put this into practice with low stakes so you can get comfortable before a real deal?
How should we respond if someone refuses our proposal?
First, don't treat it like a wall. Treat it like a request for more information. The word no is usually just a not yet or a not like this. The goal is to dig into the why without getting defensive. I'd start with a question like, I respect that, but I'm curious what part of the proposal didn't hit the mark for you. When you shift to curiosity,
Okay,
you
finally,
stop the
Maya,
tug
what
of
is your
war
best
and
advice for anyone who wants to master the art of negotiation in daily life?
my best piece of advice: don't wait for a boardroom to start. The real mastery happens in the tiny, low stakes moments, like negotiating who does the dishes or trying to get a better table at a restaurant. Treat every single one of those interactions like a rep at the gym. The more you practice the curiosity muscle on things that don't actually matter, the more natural it'll feel when you're finally asking for that promotion or dealing with a tough client.
Okay. Thank you so much, Maya. I really
Well,
enjoyed talking with you today. Your advice was practical and inspiring. I learned that successful negotiation is not about defeating others, it is about communicating respectfully, listening carefully, and creating solutions.
I love that. You nailed it. You've really stuck the landing on this one.
That
It was
benefit
a
everyone.
blast
I
chatting
hope
with you
everyone
tonight. Glad
watching
you.
also learned something valuable from today's discussion. Thank you again for your time.
Right back at you. Anytime you want to pick this up again, just give me a shout. Take care.
Allah Hafiz.
Talk soon.
Thank you everyone for watching this video. I hope today's discussion inspired you to improve your negotiation skills and communicate with confidence in your daily life. Remember, great negotiators are great listeners, thoughtful communicators, and respectful problem solvers. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more AI content. See you in the next video with another interesting topic. Until then, keep learning, keep growing, and keep building strong communication skills. Allah Hafiz.